A shocking new report claims that Facebook knows the app called Instagram that you all have is toxic for teen girls, but they're trying to downplay that ugly fact.
That's according to the Wall Street Journal, which claims the social media giant conducted a study into the app's effects and found that 32% of girls reported feeling worse about their bodies after using the app. This coming just one day after the paper reported Facebook documents revealed a secret elite exempt from rules.
Here to react, biotech entrepreneur, best-selling author. The book he wrote is Woke Inc. Vivek Ramaswamy joins us now. Vivek, to me, that 32%, that could be social media in general. What is it about Instagram?
Look, I think it is social media in general in particular. I mean, the article laid out some specifics on Instagram, but the bigger point, I think, is that this is social media's big tobacco moment. And I want to say that they went out of their way to create this oversight and accountability board. They spent $130 million to create it, and then they lie to that board. What does that tell us? They are taking steps to appear to take public accountability without actually wanting to take and bear that accountability. It is all a sham and a smokescreen. And I will tell you, I've made the argument before, including in some of our own conversations, that they are effectively serving as an arm of the government to carry out censorship that the government couldn't carry out directly. And people said in response that, yeah, they may threaten those CEOs, but the CEOs aren't the ones that are personally making these calls. Well, now we know from this reporting that actually the CEO is directly making the calls on content moderation. So I think it really strengthens the case against these companies to recognize the threats that they pose.
Sure, but Vivek, you've been on this program talking about how if they are censoring things, it's only they're censoring one side of the political spectrum, while the other side gets to pretty much do whatever they want. Particularly the elites, as has been detailed. Apparently, Facebook elites can put anything they want to on.
Yeah, look, I'll have to admit, one of the things I learned from that reporting, which I thought was really good reporting from the Wall Street Journal, is that there were some content moderation errors, even for left-wing politicians, including Elizabeth Warren. So I did want to acknowledge that that was actually something that I learned from that reporting, that not all of this was nefarious. Some of it was just bungled mismanagement. But the part that stood out to me most, to be clear, was that Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg personally make the calls, especially for this elite group, as to what gets taken down and what doesn't. They're the same people emailing with Anthony Fauci. They're the same people getting threatened by legislators. They're the same people directly talking to the White House. And so I think it really strengthens the case for state action that the people at the very top who are working hand in glove with government are also the ones who personally make these content moderation calls. I thought that was a bombshell.
Do they have a list of who these elites were?
They don't reveal it. So the lack of transparency is astounding. And in fact, many of the people in Facebook's own ranks were bothered by this. And I think that that lack of transparency really reflects in criminal law. There's a concept called mens rea, refers to your state of mind. And when your state of mind is at its most devious, that's when the highest order crimes are committed. And that's when the criminal penalties are highest too. I think the lack of transparency here and the intentional lying to their own board reflects an ill state of mind. I think a quasi-criminal state of mind that these companies are not only carrying out bad acts, they know that they're doing it and are looking to hide it. And I think that is really some of the most scary reporting of all.
Because they're making billions of dollars.
Yeah, it's a business for them.
You'll move Congress. I mean, that's the only hope we have. Congress has got to do something substantial, and they both parties have to see it as a problem. Let's hope they do.
Section 230 reform. Yep. Absolutely.
All right. But what would that reform look like? Vivek, thanks so much.